Shockley, SHOCKLEY _ Teresa, TERESA at LACOE.edu. Thank you very much, and we're going to get started right now. I think we're going to get started right now. Okay, July Mentor Forum. We have a URL right here that is a Google Doc, or it's a Google shared slideshow. So if you want to refer back to this slideshow without accessing the webinar, for any of the information, the slideshow is right there in the Google Docs as a Google presentation, okay? So that's for you to have right there. Over the course of the webinar, what our goals are today is that you will learn about program changes and review protocols for this upcoming school year. Most of them are the same. There might just be a few changes here and there, but that's what we want to address right now. Some of the biggest changes that we have in our office is that we've got some staffing changes going on. We have a new director, our director of 22 years, or, you know, she wasn't our director for 22 years, but she's been 22 years at LACOE. She's been our director for about the last 8 years. Anyway, Mary Dolan has left and has gone to Tulare, and we're very happy for her. And our secretary, Stephanie Conan, is also not working in the office right at the moment. So we are in the process of hiring a new director. Hopefully that'll be taken care of and announced by September 1st. And we also have a temporary secretary, Christine, who's doing an amazing job, and we're very pleased to have her. So if you call the office and you have a different voice answering, that would be Christine. Okay, so thank you very much. There's also been some shifts in our coordinators' positions. Robert, Sarah, and I are all still here, and we're all still communicating well and working together, but we just thought we'd reorganize a little bit for the sake of efficiency. Robert will be working with year 1 and early completion option people. Sarah will be working with people who are year 1 last year, rolling over to year 2 this year, and I'll be primarily in charge of working with you guys, the mentors. However, we all work together and we all talk to each other quite frequently. So like when mentor assignments come around, or if you have questions and you can't get a hold of who your coordinator that you want to talk to, you can always talk to one of the others of us. I'm almost always in the office, and so is Robert. Sarah works Mondays and Thursdays. She's here in the office, and then she also works from home. So that's kind of the way our office is going to be working this year. All right, so that's what we're kind of excited about it and looking to see how it will roll out. One of the other very important changes with us and with our program is that there is going to no longer be separation between special education induction or clear and general education induction. It's just going to be induction together. Okay, and then there's going to be a special education branch and a general ed branch. But that's a big change. We did not do it last year. It's directed by the CTC. We did not do it last year because of our accreditation, but this was our very last year for implementation, so we had to get it done this year. It's integrated fully into the general education induction program. Education specialists, there's a big shift from meeting once a month or twice a month to meeting weekly for about an hour with your mentees, not necessarily going in the classroom and observing all the time, but having those one-to-one collaborative meetings and reflective meetings with your teachers. Okay, general education mentors may mentor special education mentors or special education teachers, but you're going to be able to need to know that you can have resources here at LACOE or find other special ed resources on the individual campuses. Special education teachers or mentors may also mentor general ed teachers. So it's a crossover there, a true blend. There's going to be additional tools that are going to be available for general use. So the special ed tools, or tools that you'll see in Canvas, in the mentor Canvas, that kind of look like they're special ed, may be used by anybody. And that goes, again, the same way with the regular gen ed tools that we've always had. Special ed mentees and mentors, if you find something that you want to use with your mentee, feel free to use it. Okay, so there's no delineation between the tool usage within the Mentor Canvas. But just know that some are geared more towards special ed and some are geared more towards gen ed, but there's crossovers always allowed. Okay, so those are there. Special ed mentors. If you have questions or things that are specific to special ed, feel free to contact me and we'll help you learn the new program or the gen ed, the integrated induction program. Okay, so we'll be doing that together. In Canvas, we have some program changes with Canvas and the tools. So the individual learning plan, there's going to be a district goal included and a site goal so that there's coherence within the goal setting process. We're asking that you use the same tool for each year. We're going to modify it to allow for the 2 goals. You do not have to have the same goal for 2 years, but just that the one ILP will reflect both year 1 and year 2 on it. Okay, so that when the teacher is done at the end of their 2nd year, you'll be able to see what their goal was for year 1 and which modules they used the CSTPs for that, and then what their goal was for year 2 and which modules and CSTPs were used for that 2nd year. Okay, but it does not have to be the same goal, but it does need to be in alignment with what is going on at the school and the district. Okay. Professional development, if you notice and you look over down here at the bottom where you see the outline of the module, the PD is we're no longer requiring year 1 teachers to be able to do classroom management or year 2 teachers to do Engage 11. The CTC has said that we cannot mandate particular professional developments. We can require that teachers do their own self-selected, goal-aligned professional development. And that can be documented as evidence as far as their program goes. But what we want you to know is that we can't mandate classroom management or Engage 11 like we did in the past, but that it is going to be included in the regular module requirements. So if you look down here in the bottom right of your screen, you're going to see that there's a collaboration, reflection, context choice, and a PD reflection tool requirement for each module. Okay, so the teacher will do 3 PDs over the course of the year that go along with their induction goals. Now, that's not to say that they can't use their locally provided PD that's to incorporate that. Like, so, for example, if the school or the district requires professional development, the teacher can certainly use that as part of their evidence of application for induction, but it's up to you as the mentor to help them see kind of how that connects to their goal. Sometimes it's not as obvious, and sometimes it's more of a stretch. I don't want to say a stretch, but it's all education, so it's all got to be relevant to one or another. Sometimes it just takes a more seasoned teacher to point out that connection or where that bridge is between what the PD is and what the goal is, okay? Because sometimes it's just not real explicit. It might be more implicit, okay? So that's kind of what we're counting on you guys to be able to do. But those were just the big changes that we had. So not a lot of big changes, but just the goal setting piece and the PD reflection. So instead of 7 tools that are required per module, there's going to be 8. You'll have the triad for modules 1 and 2, co-assessment at the beginning of each module, you update the individual learning plan, and you do your little action plan for that module, plan out what tools you're going to use in these different categories for collaboration, reflection, context, choice, and the PD reflection. The PD reflection tool will probably be a PD log, reflection log, that the teacher can access themselves, but we ask that you kind of go over it with them, all right? If they want to use a CAL for a PD reflection, that would be fine also. And that would be some that you would do with them, okay? Going over what they did in their PD, and you can use a CAL for that, and then they can submit that as their evidence, okay? At the end of each module, again, you will take a survey and the candidate will take a survey. And in modules, the beginning of the year, modules 1 or 3, or modules 1, 2, or 4 at the end of the year. Those will be where the 2 TLCs for each year go in. Beginning of the year, it's more programmatic and Canvas oriented for the new teachers, review and updates for the year 2 teachers. And at the end of the year, it's end of the year closing out stuff for both year 1 and year 2 teachers. Mentors are not required to attend the TLCs, okay? So if you have any questions on that, please let us know. I hope I answered them all. One of the advantages to redoing the webinar is remembering what the questions were out of the first one and being able to kind of preempt those, I hope, with the second webinar. Some of the other changes that we're doing this year, we're changing the enrollment process a little bit for the year 1 and ECO candidates. Candidates will be enrolled in Canvas only when all the paperwork is completed, and that includes promissory notes, notices of eligibility, personal profile, memorandum of understanding, and the ILP. Once all of those have been turned in to Robert, he will then enroll that teacher in Canvas. Mentors, just so you know that even if the school district is paying for it, all teachers have to complete a promissory note. That's just a requirement for enrollment, and that's really their big commitment, along with the MOU. Okay, so those have to be done before they'll be enrolled in Canvas and before you are to start working with them. So if you are at a school and you know there's a teacher there who is new to the school and thinks that they need induction, please contact Robert or Sarah if they're a year 2 person, and don't start working their meeting with them until we notify you that they're completely enrolled, okay? So we appreciate your help and your cooperation with that. Some of you may or may not be aware of the early completion option. So especially the people who were previously special ed mentors, we do offer a 1-year early completion option for experienced and exceptional teachers. So teachers who feel that they have had at least 2 years of teaching experience with positive evaluations and can prove that and provide those for us, then they are eligible to apply for early completion. They need to have their application process, those packets, turned in by October 15th. There is a one-time non-refundable application fee that's $300. The ECO cost was lowered from $4,500 to $300. So it's, or $3,000, excuse me. So ECO is $3,000 plus the $300 non-refundable application fee, which is why we're asking those teachers to make sure that they're pretty sure that they'll qualify before they even apply. Once all those applications are turned in October 15th, or as they come in, we'll go over it, but by October 15th, Robert, Sarah, and I will meet. We will do a screening of all of those and determine that at that point that that person meets the criteria and will continue to be enrolled in the early completion Canvas course. If for whatever reason they do not qualify and their application is denied, we will then contact that person and take them out of the ECO Canvas course and enroll them in the year 1 Canvas course. Special ed mentors, this is another big shift in that the special ed program was a year 1 program, a 1-year program with coursework attached to it. But now it's a 2-year program with no coursework. So that's why the weekly mentoring pieces come into play. However, special ed teachers may apply for the early completion option if they feel that they would qualify for this program, okay? The big shift also with early completion, and that you'll see it when you go to Canvas, and notice that the year 1 teachers will only have 1 observation required, and that'll be in the middle module, module 2. The ECO people will have observation in module 1 and module 2. So the observation that's required in Module 1 is for mentor verification. So if you look over here at this tool right here, you'll see that this says mentor observation, and this verifies that you've seen the teacher in the classroom in action, and you can support them in their wanting to be an early completion option, an ECO candidate. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, thank you. Year 2 candidates. This is kind of a shift in the enrollment, rolling the people over from year 1 to year 2. We're doing it in Canvas. So at the end of their year 1 Canvas, they were asked to complete the paperwork and upload it there. So the same paperwork: promissory notes, notices of eligibility, personal profile, memorandum of understanding, and the induction plan, IIP, the individual induction plan, which is different from the ILP, the learning plan. Okay, the IIP is signed by the administrator, and it includes things on it like the teacher's assignment, the fee that they're being charged for the program, the cost of the program, and their credential information. If that expires, if there's any additional requirements, those pieces would be included in the IIP. And all those things, once they're all up and uploaded, then they'll be rolled into year 2. There's a digital or a recording of advisement, and it'll be contained in the year 2 Canvas course. And again, mentors are not to officially meet for pay with candidates until the candidate is officially enrolled. And then the thing is you'll know if they're officially enrolled because they'll have a year 2 Canvas course. They'll be in year 2 Canvas. Okay, so as soon as we get all that paperwork up, they're rolled over into that, and then you're free to meet with them. Please, do not submit any mentor logs for pay with people who have not been officially rolled over to year 2. Okay, so that allows us to make sure that all the paperwork's been completed and that they're completely enrolled in the process. Mentors. So some of the program changes for mentors in Canvas here. You have invitations to those invitations will be going out August 1st or July 31st. The modules that are there, they include the front will open up. It'll look a little bit different. There's a program description, a getting started module, and you'll be able to access the program description. There's a mentor handbook. The getting started module includes information on how to use Canvas. There's a little video clip. So if you are new to mentoring or you're new to this, like going from a special ed mentor to a generic induction mentor person course, there's some how-tos and helpful hints and tips there, okay? Sarah's put up the candidate-only information, so it mirrors the candidate's coursework, but there's some stuff that wasn't in there last year that was only for the candidate, like the credential application, the evidence of application requirement, those pieces. So you'll be able to see those. And so when your teacher's talking to you about what those are, what those mean, you have access to see those. But those are just for the teachers to complete. You don't need those pieces yourself. We're also asking that you use the current year's tools. This past year, when we were reading the portfolios, we noticed that some mentors are using old tools, and we can tell by the old New Teacher Center logo that you may have on your desktop, or you may just be using your old Canvas. Please use the current tools. It's very confusing for the readers when they see tools that they're not familiar with because the logo's old. So please be current with that. And like I said earlier, there will be quite a few new tools with special ed, and then a couple of things we've included or modified over the summer. Okay? If you have any questions about the tools or tool usage, please, again, feel free to contact me or Sarah or Robert, because we all can answer those questions. Please pay attention to the announcements. So as you know, we can send out an email that'll go through Canvas. But if there's something quick like a program change or a notification that I want everybody to get, I'll send it out through announcements. And you'll get those announcements. Well, you can go in and see them. But if you have, there's a place in your profile setting to push announcements like to your phone, but you have to put your number into a text. So please make sure you have your profile set so that announcements will be pushed to a text for you, okay? So that you'll see those right away. We will also be using the discussion thread. We'll be doing, have the option for one of your mentor goals to do a book study with us. We'll be having a speaker from the Jim Knight group, Jim Knight group coming in, and we'll be doing a book study on better conversations. We'll be giving you these books in September, so you don't have to go out and buy them. Some of you, as you know, well, all of you, as you know, we do mentor goals, but if some of you want to use this book as a part of your mentor goal setting, that would be kind of fun. I love book clubs. If you also have any other books that you think might be helpful to do as a book study, you can either do that yourself with your peers or colleagues and use that as part of your mentor goals, or you could say, you know what, I think this is a really good one, and we can have it as an option that I could lead it or you could lead it, and then we can work on that. But the discussion thread, we're going to try to utilize that feature in Canvas more this year also, okay? And just counting on you guys to keep it appropriate, and positive, all right? So those are some of the program changes as far as the mentors in Canvas go. Let's see what else. Changes to mentor logs. Let me see if this will go to it live. Oh, you know what? It's not screen shared with you, so I don't think you'd be able to see it. But I want you to go to the mentor logs, and you'll see that the information is still there. It's just been shifted around and changed around the order of it. However, this is one of the big changes for everybody, okay? Whether you're getting paid by LACOE or not, well, whether everybody needs to do a mentor log, okay? Whether you're getting paid by LACOE or by your local district or school. The logs, we use those for many things, but one of them is payroll, one of those is accreditation, and one of those is accountability, so that even though LACOE might not be paying you, we want to see that you are meeting with your teachers regularly, because remember, you are our little, not little, but you know what I mean. You are the ones implementing the program. I was going to say you're proselytizing for us, but I didn't want to make it sound religious. You're going out and you are delivering our program and you're working with the teachers, but we want the same induction experience all the way across LA County. So that's one of those things that the mentor logs help us see, that little piece of accountability and how you guys are working together with your teachers, whether or not you're being paid for by LACOE or locally, okay? But those of you who are getting paid by LACOE, you have to have them submitted monthly. You cannot submit them late. You will not be able to get paid. It has just been a big nightmare here at our end, trying to fight for you guys to get paid that's submitted late. So please, please, please be sure, that you do that. Our accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll, nobody understands the work you do. And as much as we try to explain it to them, they still are like, what do you mean they forgot to turn them in, So please make sure you do that. I will be checking though, and I will be reminding you. So that's one of the things with me being only focused on the mentors, is I'll be able to see who submitted them, and I'll be able to call you or to email you and say, hey, get those logs in or we won't be able to pay you, okay? We have over 200 mentors in the program, so that's what I'll be tracking. So I hope you guys can help me out and stay on top of that, okay? One of the other, it's not a shift in pay, the pay remains the same, it's how we record it that looks a little bit differently. We need your start time and your stop time, Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to need. And remember, we pay $50 per visit. So $50 basically is our unit price. So if you look right here, 1 unit is equal to $50. 1.5 units, obviously, is equal to 50 plus half of 50, 25, which makes it 75. A 3-unit day would be a meeting rate, would be $150. So these are meeting rates. A 1.5 would be 75, and those are our half-day meeting rates. And a full day would be a 3, $150. So that's the meeting rate. So on your mentor log, this is what it's going to look like. Please use the following definitions to select which meeting rate applies to this submission. Okay, so a single candidate meeting rate would be 1. So you met with your mentee, after school, Tuesday. So that would be a 1. Oh, but if you have a mentor training, kind of like this one, which is what I'm going to ask you to submit for today, or when you view this, is a 1.5. So whether it went for 3 hours or it went for 1 hour, it's a meeting rate, half-day meeting rate at 1.5. A long day, full day, like the one we're going to have in September, where you're coming here and we feed you breakfast and we feed you lunch and we pay you, that would be a 3. Okay, so we have one of those in September. We have one in February. And then for new mentors, we'll have Jennifer Abrams in January. So that would be a full day meeting rate, which would be a 3. Okay, $150 is what the 3 is equal to. 1.5 is equal to $75, and a 1 is equal to 50. So I hope that's clear. The 20th, we asked them to be turned in by. Months with holidays may have earlier submission dates, but I'll be reminding you about that also. And then there's the note down here that mentors who are paid by their school or district must still complete the logs for accountability purposes and program data collection. Okay, so we appreciate your cooperation with that. What we recommend is that you just include or get in the habit of doing those monthly, the mentor log for that day at the end of your meeting. So just kind of try to, as they're uploading the tool that you guys shared and did together, they can be uploading and you can kind of like check in and make sure they got it in okay. And then you can be doing your mentor log. So just try to build that in. Try to build that into your meeting, okay? We really, truly appreciate that. I don't like being the bad guy and having to call you guys. Any other nuts and bolts? Coming up, remember, last year you had to do the mandated reporter training. You are people who are paid for, who are paid by LACOE, have to do the mandated reporter training whether or not you do it for your school. So every entity that you work for whom you work, you will need to do, if it's an education entity, you'll need to do the mandated reporter training. So if you worked for Azusa Pacific, LACOE, and your district, you would have to do 3 mandated reporter trainings, okay? You work for LACOE and you work for Little Lake, you're gonna have to do one for Little Lake, you're gonna have to do one for LACOE. Okay, it's about 20 minutes long. It's there are probably just slight differentiations or differences between what you're doing for your district and what you're doing for us, but it's pretty much the same information. And you're familiar with it because we do it every year. I have to do it too. So if you can do that as soon as possible, those emails should be going out this week. I talked to the woman who's sending them out. So as soon as you get it, if you can just, set the time aside. You can include that in your logs, but it would be a one meeting rate, or like a 1 unit meeting rate. Okay, so if you do the mandated reporter training, you do 1 mentor log and use that as a one unit meeting rate. Okay, so make sure you do that. There is going to be a technology support for mentors August 8th from 9 to 12. Here is a registration link for you for that. So please register so I can prepare properly. We'll be in a tech lab and the information is on the registration form. Depending on how many people show up, we might have to double up computers, bring a laptop, but I think we'll be in the tech lab where there are desktop computers also. We'll be talking about Google Docs, so if people who have questions about what this is going to be about, we'll be talking about Google Docs, making a copy, how to highlight, like with the co-assessments, and how to share those. We'll also be talking about Google Hangouts. We'll be talking about Zoom. We might have some breakout sessions. It's only 3 hours long, so a breakout session where you have a menu of options to go see. One of them might be organizing your files with multiple candidates and being able to do that. Some of those might be like how you get Google onto your computer, or why can't I do this with Google? So we'll be able to hopefully answer some questions there for you. How to use Google Hangouts for distance mentoring. I prefer Zoom. I think it's the strongest platform, but depending on what you're comfortable with, we'll be talking about virtual mentoring also, and giving you an opportunity to practice that with each other while you're there. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking forward to. The new Mentor Forum, or excuse me, next Mentor Forum, there's a link for you to go on and register for that. That's going to be August 25th, I believe it's a Saturday, towards the end of August, and we'll be doing, it'll be a 3 hour, it'll be the 1.5 meeting rate, so it's just gonna be morning. We'll have a light continental breakfast for you, and we'll be going over reviewing some of this. You might have a chance to get into practice or have more questions about it. And we'll be talking about just a few other things, and part of it is going to be, well, I was going to surprise you in August because I haven't got it fleshed out yet, but what you're going to be doing this year is we'll have peer mentoring, or mentoring buddies, actually, mentoring buddies. And hopefully I'll have that all fleshed out and how that's going to look this year, and your mentor goals and goal setting. So we're going to be talking about those things at that meeting in August, okay? The next Mentor Forum then is there. It's Saturday, October, there it is, August 25th, 9 to 12. It's going to be in this building. We'll have the 2 rooms, A and B, the conference rooms, and we'll have a light breakfast for you, okay? So that's going to be our next meeting. Let's see if there's anything else. Nope, that's it. So I want to thank you for listening to the webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I will answer as quickly as I can. Or if it's something that I get a lot of questions about, like the same thing, I will send out an announcement, because chances are if 3 or 4 people have a question, there's probably more people out there who have that question. So that was an example of how I might use the announcements tool in Canvas, okay, or the announcements feature. All right. So, another thing, Google in the email through through Canvas does not handle attachments well. So that's the other thing, is in announcements I can send out, or it doesn't handle links or attachments. So what I can do then, if I want to send something to you, I'll do an announcement with a live link, and that will get to you better than if I try to send it either as a link or an attachment through the email in Canvas. Okay, so that's another reason why I might be using the announcements more this year. Okay, so happy mentoring. I hope enjoy your last couple weeks of summer. I look forward to seeing all of you again, and thank you very much for listening. Okay, have a good day. Stay dry, or not dry, stay